Chubstep.
Jrad. Cacao.
Creating the oil of gold.
Steed.
Chubstep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Chubstep in the house. What? Come on, son. You know that's right.
Nice wheels, Mike. This is new?
Not quite. Like your mother, it's been previously loved and paid for by a couple of guys.
I guess this means you cleared your debts, huh?
No, I've added this to my debt.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started.
Hello, babies. Welcome back.
Little babies. This is a show for babies.
Hi, little babies. Put this on for your kids.
You're
welcome, children.
You're welcome, kids. Okay, perfect. That was for the parents out here and the kids. So here is something for everybody else. Steve, let's get religious on the show.
Uh-oh.
So I was at my little cousin's football game the other day because I love to support local sports. And
yeah, that's why you went. Okay.
And I always just frequent the sporting events. But I gave my one cousin a rosary because I'm his godfather. When we were in Vatican City, I bought him a rosary from, basically the Pope's house, Vatican City. So I'm like,
yeah, here's
a good godfather thing to give him. It's a rosary from Vatican City. So I gave this to him while he's watching his brother play flag football. And he proceeds to just wear it around. Like, I thought he was just going to pop in his pocket. He wore it, wore the rosary. And then he was throwing the football around with his dad a little bit while wearing the rosary.
Made him strong.
And then I was kind of thinking, there's so many guys that play sports or I think they have the Jesus pieces, they'll have the gold chain with the cross or whatever. But I feel like next level is just the athlete just wearing the full rosary on the field.
Yeah, because then you can do your prayers.
Yeah.
The rosary beads, I'm pretty sure. Here's my understanding. You got a bunch of beads.
Yeah.
And each bead you have to say a prayer.
Yes.
And then you get around to the other end and you just got to start all over, baby. Cycle continues.
You can do it how many times you want. There's no limit.
Really? You just sit there and say prayers all day?
Well, obviously most people
That's what a rosary is. That's actually what a rosary is.
You just go, it's here's little prayers that you do along the circles. Now, around the beads and the spaces. So
that's the biggest scam I've ever heard.
It's just more like a guide, right? It's a guide. But the point is,
guide.
Some people are, they lose their faith, they lose their way, as they say. So they did this rosary. So what I was thinking is, next level, I want to see Tyreek Hill. He catches some touchdown pass, and as he's running super fast, you just see the rosary, the beads going left and right.
And then he gets in the end zone and he grabs one. And he's like, oh shit, what was I on? What number was I
on? Exactly. Everybody touches the different parts of the beads and starts doing their prayer on the end. Or
that would be really meaningful. It'll help him win the football game for sure.
Exactly. Everybody's thanking God at the end of the games anyway. So if you really want to represent
and the other team's like, what I do? What the hell did I do, bro? What I do, God?
Yeah. So that's what I want to see. The next level, maybe it starts with youth sports. So maybe my cousin has to start doing this, and then if he does good enough, it catches on.
Yeah,
maybe we
wait a couple years.
Yeah, it's gonna give it some time to evolve. But or somebody like Tyreek just started to do it now. I guarantee everybody would be rocking a rosary.
You should send him one and say you need this, or you're gonna burn in hell.
Yes, you're gonna burn in hell unless you do this. That seems to work. Whenever I see people doing that on the street, it makes me think, and then I do whatever they say.
Yeah, those people, I say some obscene things to.
As you should.
Well, they try and give me little pamphlets, and I'll just tell them about my sexual relations with JC, Big Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, good.
They don't like that. They don't
love that so much.
No, it gets them away from you, though.
Yeah,
pretty quick.
I did. One time I grabbed one of the DVDs. There used to be always people protesting when I was in college, just various things, just be some guy yelling out that kind of stuff. Everybody's going to hell and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember one of my buddy Steve James, who's been on the show before, had the sign that said, "This guy's an asshole," pointing with an arrow pointing right to the guy as he's standing there.
Oh my God.
But then I do remember one time grabbing a DVD from one of the people, and it was all about, like how 9/11 was fake, and it was talking about thermite and all this kind of stuff. And just like, it was very, and I was like, okay, I probably just got a virus from whatever I just put on, just played on my computer. Probably should not have done that.
Yeah, the FBI is on you now.
It is. It is. They've been on me for other things, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, your Fit Kids program.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there you go, Steve. Rosaries to protesters, but there you go.
That's fun. I'm in. I'll buy one.
Okay. What's going on with you?
Jay, sad news. The world's oldest dog in the world died.
Oh, no.
No.
Bobby.
Bobby. What kind of dog?
Bobby. Get ready for this. Raffaello do Alentejo. Raffaello do Alentejo.
Okay.
He was Portuguese.
That was his name, or that's the type of dog he was?
That's the dog. He was a purebred. His name was Bobby. Bobi. He lived in Portugal, and he was 31 years old.
I'm trying to look.
He was as old as I am, and he died.
When you describe that type of dog, he's 31, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen here so people can see what he looks like. Yeah, I was not picturing like the type of that dog breed.
Yeah, look how cute he is.
It is a cute dog. 31, man.
31. There's Bobby on the top left. Yep, there he is.
This is all him. This is him.
Oh, that's all Bobby? It's got to be all Bobby. Yeah, they said the secret to his longevity was the fresh air of Portugal.
Okay. And
they also fed him people food. They just gave him whatever they were eating, they would just feed a dog.
Oh, shit. That's not going to be good for my argument against my mom every time she feeds our dogs.
Yeah, that's why whenever I go over to your house, I feed them copious amounts of food.
So that's why they're going to live longer.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm helping.
So do they also give him dog food, or is just like what he ate, just whatever they ate?
The quote is whatever we ate, he ate.
Well, then that works. It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, do you think it hurts more that your dog dies when he's 31, or do you think it's better? You're like, oh my God, finally. I've been wanting a puppy for 14 years now.
I feel like the older it gets, you're just kind of like, man, that was a great run, right? I mean, they're saying this thing says 217 in dog years. I know it's not. That's not exactly
that. Yeah, see the scale.
They don't
you got to adjust
7
the scale.
I know it's not. There's an adjusted scale, so that's not really right. But this is even from Live Now from Fox. That's who said that, but that's not accurate. But the point is, like, when they make it that long, you're like, yeah, I'll check out Al Jazeera, and it's a good run. So to me, it's like, it's sad that he passed away, but I mean, the fact they made it, like, okay, that's about best case scenarios. Right? I mean, you didn't have to spend the money on a new dog. Think about that, Steed.
Yeah, that's a good point. You saved like 3 dogs worth of money.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know what he died from too?
He got ran over by a car. That would be insane. What happened?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say some bad dog murder stuff.
Yeah,
we'll skip it.
He got broken into by Eastern Europeans that were trying to break in to steal stuff from his house and kill them.
Yep, and then they just shot the dog anyway.
And then John Wick, the John Wick story, basically, is what happened.
I thought that was good for that dog. Share his death with the world.
No, that was actually, I had no idea. So thank you for the notification. Impressive run.
It is very impressive.
Yeah. So, Steve, I wanted to get to Chubistory.
Okay.
Blood alone moves the wheels of history. Have you ever asked yourselves in an hour of meditation, which everyone finds during the day, how long we have been striving for greatness?
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
America is the richest, most powerful nation on earth. If America was a woman, America would be a big titty woman. And everybody loves a big titty woman.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chubistory.
Please clap.
So this Chubistory started from when I saw Penn and Teller like a few weeks ago, like 2 or so weeks ago.
6.
Penn and Teller, Magician Legends, Magic Legends. They're the longest running Las Vegas show in history.
I saw Chris Angel Mind Freak. So
they made a Chris Angel reference at one point.
Yeah, how badass he is.
So they said they were just doing a bunch of talking. And they're like, oh, you probably want to see magic unless you're here for Chris Angel.
Okay, Penn and Teller. All right. You freaking dweebs.
I think
those nerds, Angel, what do those nerds even do? They probably can't even pull a rabbit out of a hat.
I picked this up from Cooge Magic, and I've heard this from other. Maybe I was wrong, Cooge. Maybe I didn't hear this.
He's a mind freak. He's a mind freak.
But I don't get that a lot of other magicians like Chris Angel. Steve, I don't think he's a magician's magician
because he's so successful.
I think that's probably he's too successful. I just don't know if he just doesn't seem like he's well liked in the magic community. I could be off on that. I'm not a magician. I know zero tricks. I mean, you know some tricks.
I know too. I'm on Reddit. I'm on Magic Reddit right now.
Okay.
People say he uses stooges. Also, he screwed other magicians to get where he is. He befriended creators, then took sole credit and stabbed them in the back. Also, this guy doesn't like how he's a douche.
So I'm not wrong when saying this, right? This is just a guess that I had, but that's not wrong. That it seems like some people don't like him in the magic community.
There is a very long Reddit thread about this.
Okay. So anyway, I didn't, this here or that. So anyway, in this Penn and Teller show, Penn ends the show talking about he does fire eating at the end of the show. Okay. And he talks about how it's not a magic trick. He said he tells you exactly how he does it, right? It's you literally have it has to do with lighter fluid, and you're basically taking the lighter fluid, like you're basically eating the lighter fluid and lighting it. You're basically putting lighter fluid in your mouth and spraying it out when fire is near it and stuff like that. That's the fire eating part of this.
Gross.
And yeah, he talked about this whole thing, and he said, he does this, a couple times a week, and that's not, long term, it doesn't really affect you much because it's a small amount there, but you're not supposed to be eating this stuff, right? It's lighter fluid.
It's probably on the bottle.
Yeah. So it is printed on the bottle, but he said, when he first saw fire eating, it was at a freak show when he was a kid. And he talked about how the guys in the freak show would, they would do these things like easily 20 times a day, and they would be doing these things. And he did the whole story about this guy, the first time he saw this guy, and he had this ridiculous voice, probably because he was, burnt, like just constantly burning his mouth. But he said the voice is very disappointing, but he was so just mesmerized by this guy doing this fire eating. He was so impressed that he learned how to do it, I think, when he was 19, and he still does it to this day. And it is kind of a crazy thing to watch somebody just do this live. But it made me think of, I should do a Chubistory on the freak show. And I also became interested in it because I saw Nightmare Alley, which was one of the movies that was up for best movie of the year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And that was basically all focused around a freak show for the most part. So I'm going to give you a little Chubistory on the freak show.
You got the bearded man, bearded lady.
Yep. I'll get to all those. Exactly. A bearded man is just a normal guy.
You got a tall guy, then a short guy.
Yeah. So here's how it started, Steve. So it actually been going on for throughout medieval times and stuff like that. There was always times where people with different kind of weird features or disabilities would maybe be paraded around or exploited, whatever you want to do. Basically be, kind of
they got a job.
Attraction.
All right.
They'd be attraction. I'm getting to that.
Put them down. They got a job.
I'm getting to that. But this really kind of started up in 1835. So P.T. Barnum, you've heard of P.T. Barnum.
Oh, yeah.
So controversial character. So it's really kind of started around 1835, 1840. Barnum had this big museum. I don't know if he called it it was basically like a circus that was inside a big building. So, and
you can still call that a circus.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was permanent. It was a permanent location.
It was in a building
in New York. It was in a building. It was a permanent
I've been
location.
to
It
that.
wasn't
I've
traveling.
actually been to that.
So here's this thing. It's one of his big things was like walk through and see all the different crazy people, right? That was the freak. Freak
I'd
shows,
pay a
as
nickel.
they said.
I'd pay a nickel for that.
Exactly. One of his big things was like this lady named Joyce Heth, who was supposedly 161 years old and was supposed to have been the nurse of George Washington. And so
crazy.
Okay, so keep in mind, as he did these different exhibits, a good portion of them were just total bullshit.
Yeah, I think that one was like proven.
So basically at one point, she would do 10 to 12 hours a day. She'd be kind of sitting there. People would do, it wasn't really clear what she was doing because people would just see her.
Maybe knitting,
exactly. So at one point he does, this is a rumored thing, that he did a live autopsy when she passed away and then revealed actually she's like 83, not 162. So this thing's going around for like 30 years. I think it was 1840 to 1870. This big building was opened today, the freak show there, and it actually ended up burning down twice. And then he's like, all right, we're putting this on the road. So some of the big people that he had, like you mentioned, the bearded lady, Annie Jones was the name, Jones. There was conjoined twins.
Oh, nice.
The tattooed man, Captain
That's normal
Consensus.
Nowadays.
Yeah. So I'll get to all like kind of my thoughts on this in a second. But so like this tattooed man, what happened is that he was taken prisoner in Western Europe. He was doing some mining expedition. There was some revolt that was going on, and he decided to partner with basically the wrong group. That group ends up getting captured. So for 3 months as punishment, they just tattooed him, which
that's pretty sick.
Some people would look at that as like, oh, thank God I don't have to pay for this. Like I just got a free full sleeve. So
do a little smile.
They said like every single part of his body was tattooed except for like the bottom of his feet, basically.
That's badass. Why'd they stop there?
I don't know. Maybe he escaped at that point. He end up escaping. So he ended up getting out of there. But tattooed man, they had a lot of like little people. That was a big thing. Jojo, the dog-faced boy, and Lionel, the lion-faced man. Both those very similar, basically had facial hair that grew, their whole face. Kind of if I had to compare it to a Star Wars character, like a kind of Chewbacca looking.
Okay.
Yeah. They had the three-legged man, the human skeleton, and then his most famous freak show act was General Tom Thumb. And General Tom Thumb was a 2'1" tall man who would sing and dance and act. He ends up actually becoming very good friends with P.T. Barnum and got paid really well. Actually ended up owning a yacht at one point.
Damn, that's badass.
I know. Like these people were paid, actually, what turns out paid pretty well. It just that they ended up having kind of shitty working conditions and ended up being kind of shitty hours.
Oh, everybody did in the 1800s.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. 100% everybody had shitty working conditions. And to your point, Seed, it's kind of this kind of both sides of the argument. One is that like they talked about like people that had like little people that had dwarfism. There was not very many jobs that these people could do.
Oh, so, yeah. And I'm assuming that the prejudices and intolerance
for sure.
of that. No Americans with Disabilities Act.
I'll tell you that. None of that. Yes, none of that. There's no welfare and things like this. So like these people needed a job, and it was like one of those things where like you're kind of selling your dignity to a certain extent, but like they got paid well. It was like this kind of, you could see it both ways. It's like for them, it's like, hey, it's better than not having a job. And for other people, it's like, well, you're just, exploiting them. So it's kind of the both sides of it from our perspective now, right?
Yeah.
At the time, this was a pretty popular attraction, so much so that, P.T. Barnum was a very wealthy man. And again, these people working freak shows were oftentimes very wealthy. And then there was a guy kind of that competed with him called Tom Norman. Tom Norman had the electric lady, the skeleton woman. They had this person that just bit the heads off rats.
That's badass.
They had the elephant man, which just somebody with a deformed, face. A lot of these people just kind of had like pointed heads or things that like basically just genetic disabilities. So what led to the kind of decline in the freak show world which started around it was the golden era. They say was like 1840s to 1940s. That's when people were making a lot of money going to the shows.
100 years. That's a good run.
Yeah. And then after that, then science started catching up and kind of just said, hey, by the way, guys, these are not like, these aren't missing links or people that are like, something you should be scared of.
They don't come from a family of like all wolf.
Yeah, they weren't exactly. They weren't great. They're not half man, half wolf. Like these are actually just genetic disabilities, or like these are things that can be explained by science. Then all of a sudden people's like, oh yeah, wait, I don't want to like, that's not their fault. That's I don't need to see that.
I don't know. I'd still go.
Well, so in a sense, Steed, this kind of stuff still exists now.
What?
Right. I mean, you go to Instagram, right? There's plenty of people that have their full body tattooed or things like that. I remember or people with disabilities that now
my 600-pound life.
My 600%. How is 600-pound life? There for sure. That would have been one of the attractions of the freak show.
Oh yeah.
And now people are just kind of, I guess the difference now is they have a little more control, I would say, is the biggest difference now. So like now somebody that has like elephantitis or one of these different diseases, they're a lot of times like telling their story on Instagram or telling their story on TikTok or these sort of things, right? And they're making money off that. It just, I guess the biggest difference is like people are always curious about this stuff, even if they know how it works or not. But the difference is, I guess, these people have other opportunities now to make money other ways. And also they kind of control their own story. Like they're telling people what they want instead of like a big announcer guy with a top hat saying, hear ye, come look at these, what we call freaks. So that's the kind of biggest difference. But it's kind of just a crazy, like the extreme carny world of, escalated in this kind of freak show scenario.
It got pretty wild for a minute there.
Oh yeah. I mean, like just the fact that you could just like go and just like 10 cents, you'd go to some tent and you would just see some guy that just ate rats. It's just crazy that this thing existed. And if you watch that movie Nightmare Alley, they're one of they call him a geek in that, but basically it's a guy that's just like so wasted and stuff that he's like drugged out that he just does whatever, he'll eat whatever you throw in the cage type of thing, right? It's like a half human type. So, but that's the kind of stuff they would do. And like they said, this guy just eating fire, 20 times a day. And like that kind of, it was terrible for the people. And it was just kind of just this weird subculture that was going on, 80 years ago still. And still even, when it went further than that, that was just kind of the prime time that it was going on. So as it's kind of Halloween time,
you're saying we should start it up again.
I'm saying it already exists still.
No. We make another like exhibit thing, except we leave the doors unlocked. So anybody that's, part of the show can leave when they want to.
So here's the thing you missed though. Like it's all about everybody else was making a lot of money here, Steed.
We're going to make, everybody's going to be making money because it's not going to be 10 cents anymore. It's going to be like $50.
Oh, it's either you're still going to do 10 cents.
No, it'll be like $50 to get in.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I think the internet also would have killed this regardless. Well,
no, because you have to be respectful. That's the rules.
No, not that. I just mean like people can see whatever they want to see on their phone, right?
No, it would be crazy though. It would be crazy.
Crazier than phone stuff?
You can't put a guy biting the heads off rats on the internet.
I guarantee there's a video of it somewhere.
I doubt it. TikTok would take that down.
Well, I'm just saying you can find almost
I'm actually
anything.
Not going to Google that.
Yeah, I'm not going to Google it either, but you can find basically anything on the internet. So I think that just the appeal of that sort of thing, obviously everything's always different live, but I feel like it's not there anymore. And
I think you're wrong. We'll do a poll. We'll do some type of poll. Would you go to a freak show?
You set up the poll.
$50 and we serve margaritas. Everybody gets a margarita.
$50. No, I think I just want the margaritas. I think I'd pass on the thing. But anyway, it was a weird part in history, interesting and kind of strange. But anyway, kind of themed with the circus, kind of scary themed with the Halloween coming up here.
Yeah, so good theming. Good theming.
History. There you
go. Great. I learned a lot about shows.
Freak shows.
Freak shows. Yeah. I don't like to call them freaks, though.
You
know what I call them?
What's that?
My friends.
Yeah. I'm not calling it freaks. I'm using the term of what it was actually called.
All right. Well, you want to segue into a Tanzania news about some freaks?
Let's do it.
A real freak?
Yes.
The infection causes immediate respiratory failure, and scientists claim that mutations may now transmit.
You know what Fugazi is? Fugazi. It's a fake. Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust.
What are you, from Tanzania?
Yes, I am.
You ever heard of the vampire of Tanzania?
God, no.
The Popobawa?
Popobawa I've heard of, just not I didn't know the translation.
You've heard of the Popobawa?
No.
Okay. Okay, so the Popobawa is a Tanzanian creature.
Okay.
And in the 90s, people kind of lost their shit a little bit due to Popobawa sightings. This is in the 1990s. So the Popobawa, it's like Popo, which means bat, and Bawa means wing. So it's like a vampire type creature. Except it has only one eyeball. It has large bat wings, and it has a huge penis.
Is it actually, or are you just...
I'm not joking. It has a huge penis.
Okay.
And this comes in later. This comes in...
Okay, put up to the play later, because usually horror figures don't have any genitalia, so it's interesting that this comes into play. Continue.
Well, yeah, this one uses it. So he, I guess he'll eat you or like suck your blood, but his main goal, if he visits your house, he's gonna try and sodomize everybody in the house.
Okay.
And he's gonna keep coming back unless you tell everybody you know that the Papa Bawa came in and sodomized me.
Does like a Facebook post count?
I'm not joking. This is not a Facebook
I don't know.
post.
I know. I understand that. Does a Facebook post count, Steve, if you just like post it on your wall?
Yeah, you could probably. I mean, nowadays,
Instagram
you
story?
probably have to explain to the Popo Bawa at this point, like what Facebook is. Like when he comes back the next night, he's like, "I didn't see you out there," and you'd have to be like, "No, look, it's online now." Told everyone.
Things have changed. Things have changed, buddy.
Popo Bawa sodomized everybody. It was not. We did not have a good time.
Yeah.
So apparently that's his goal. He comes in, does the sodomy, makes you tell everybody about it, and maybe if you enjoy it, that's your thing. You just don't tell anybody, and you're gonna have freaking awesome nights for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Something to think about. So yeah, in the 90s, some part-time drug dealer from I think Norway was flying through Tanzania on like an ultralight aircraft that he like built himself. And he built it with like bat-like wings because it happened to be aerodynamic. And then it apparently like the landing gear made it look like little bat talons. So like some people saw this, and then the Tanzanian government like news agency reported, "Hey, there's a Papa like flying through Tanzania right now."
Oh, no.
Like the government news. And everyone's like, "Oh shit, the Papa Bawa's here." So then he goes flying by to like the next town, and he said like people were like chasing the plane and like come in trying to like bust into the airfield to like just I guess kill him. So he like goes to the next town. Same thing happens. He's like, "What the hell is going on?" Then he like flies into one town at night and they see it. And then like in the morning, he wakes up and everybody has like thorns in their windows and doors, like thorn bushes. And then like there's what the heck is their name? Maui. There's like spear warrior guys.
Okay.
I can't remember the name. Mai starts with an M. Masai. So there's Maasai like spear, lion hunter, warrior guys, and they're like patrolling, and they're like looking for it, like ready to mess him up. So nobody ever, I guess, caught him. He got away, or they saw him later on down his journey. It died down a little bit, and somebody was like, "Hey, you're the Papa Bauer?" Because they see him land.
Yeah,
and then they like get to him, and they're like, "Ah, it's just a white guy." Like,
yeah, and then was he confused? He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, he landed at like some like a police hangar or like a government hangar, and they're like, "Oh, you're the freaking Papa Bauer." That's like everyone's losing their shit about. And he's like, "What?
What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah. So, it indeed was not the sodomy vampire. It was just a Norwegian guy selling some drugs in Tanzania.
Oh, there you go. So it turns out this might not be real.
It was not actually the Papa Bauer. Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah. So lock your doors at night, people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Worst
it's a good warning.
vampires out there.
It's a good warning. Is that all people need to do? Is like, obviously, can he just not get it through like normal doors? Doesn't have hands.
Seems like the thorns are the go-to. Like
when
they were like, all right, there's a Papa Bauer here. They're like, we got to get some thorns in any opening. Like we can. So they put the thorn bushes up.
Thorn bushes seem to help. You know what? Like thorn bush could stop me for a little bit, but like I've ran into them and it's like it slowed me down a little bit, but it's not like the barbed wire, you know.
Honestly, it would kind of piss me off.
Yeah, if anything, I'm gonna get more upset.
Yeah, because I'm coming in and I'd be like, I got all these thorns in me.
Yeah.
Who's in this house? This is the house.
It's not razor wire, you know. Like maybe some of that would maybe modernize this technique a little bit.
Yeah, especially if you're some demon creature with, one large eye, giant ween.
Yeah.
Slinging around. Maybe it injures the ween as he comes in.
Oh, that could be it. I didn't think about that. I'm usually wearing pants.
Kind of goes home. I don't think he'd be wearing pants.
No, I know, but I usually am.
He's got to get down to business when he gets inside.
Good point.
He's got no time for a belt.
It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know who started that whole thing. Like, where does that come from? But
I believe it's the Zanzibar. People on the island of Zanzibar.
Oh, on the Zanzibar, yeah.
Yeah, because they thought that people, like when they got the news that the thing was there, immediately they're like, it was the neighboring islands. They cursed us.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I see.
They were pissed.
Yeah. I guess our bad guys, like the boogeyman or things like that, like it's not so sexual.
No, and it's not even like scary. What does the boogeyman do? He grabs your feet?
Yeah, it just lives under your bed. Like I don't use it. Go ahead and put whatever you sleep down there if you want.
Yeah, vampire, that'll bite you, but worst case scenario, you just turn into a vampire and you freaking Edward Cullen.
That's true. Then you get to live a rich life with your parents who are doctors.
Yeah, are they? I never saw it, but I saw number 2 one time. I saw
number one time. So
if we get another guy that's seen the third one, we're good.
Who could piece together the stories. Yeah. There we go. Nice. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there. People email the show, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. Check us out on YouTube and Steed Swallows on Instagram. Steed, long time waiting on a new post.
Son of a bitch. I haven't been swallowing a lot of good stuff.
Okay.
Well, I've been on my, not a diet, but I've been watching what I eat. So I basically eat meat and a little bit of rice every day. And it's dry as hell.
Maybe just make a video on how you cook the perfect rice in your $400 rice cooker.
I actually could do that. It's really easy. You just put it in and turn it on. And it uses the microchips inside it and senses how much rice there is, how much water, and when exactly when it's done.
There you go.
Perfect rice every time.
Perfect rice every time.
Zoji Rushi.
Good. Perfect.
Don't buy a tiger unless you're a bitch.
Good. Little warning for the listeners. All right. New shows every Thursday. Show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.